A Void is like the Chinese opening. I see LFY picked it a lot. I saw LGD pick it. It was picked a lot at MDL too. It's just a really strong opening because they synergize so well. The A will give damage to Void. Void lacks damage till late game, and he sets up for the AL too. So it's like they just have synergy, and also Void can go to any lane. Like I know all three of their cores play this Void. I've seen no one play Void mid. I've seen Pasha played Void off lane. I've seen Ramses play Void carry. So right now Liquid don't really know where this Void is going, and VP know where this Fearon is going. Like 100% it will be off lane unless they go for some aggro, which they won't generally do. So.
And something interesting to note, in contrast to a lot of the other drafts that we've seen, these two picks and the first three bans from both sides took like less than 30 seconds. I mean, they blasted through those, only just now going into reserve time on the Lycan ban.
I think usually before you go into a match, you decide what kind of opener do you want to have. What are you going to give them? Like VP know, they're thinking, right? Which of these heroes are we going to give them? If they have first pick, okay, we got to give them one. Then they decide, and they know what they're going to respond with. So that's why they use, usually the first two picks are usually pretty fast.
Yeah, the thing with Liquid is they already know what every team will ban versus them. They know what that they're going to ban Wisp and Coddle. So it's easy for them to kind of set up drafts even like before the game starts. And my also thing with this, the Shaker versus Void, I feel like I'm a bit puzzled why they picked this Void like this, because I feel Shaker is a very good hero versus Void. Throughout the game, like Void will buy Linken's, you know, if he's like a carry. But Shaker is like one of the few heroes in Dota that has a stun that doesn't care about Linken's. And that's why I feel like it's hard to play Void versus Shaker in the game, especially if the game goes late, because you'll always get chained. You'll get echoed, you'll get fissured, you'll get Chan Totemed, and you're like, you're really easy. If you remember the game Liquid versus IG, Game 3, XXS Shaker versus Mind Control Void. And that was a really hard game for Mind Control because it was the Shaker versus Void matchup. And as soon as Shaker gets blinked, Void can't do anything on the map. So let's see what. Also, this cool thing about this AA pick is it also blocks Necrophos. So when Liquid do the Shaker Fearon strat, they love picking Necrophos with it to abuse mid lane. And what they do is like Necro is one of the strongest mid lanes in this patch if he gets help, because he has inherent regen. When you have inherent regen as a core hero, you always have a matchup advantage because there are no more shrines in Dota. So this Necro will sit mid and he gets Heartstopper and he'll just attack you. He'll just hit you, and then GH will come with the 100 damage Fissure, and he'll attack you and Fissure attack you, and every mid player will be like, I hate playing versus this. So. Oh, Slardar comes out.
Marlene, what do you make of the Slardar third pick for Virtus.Pro?
Unusual, I would say, a little bit, especially with the Faceless Void in AA. Usually you want like more overwhelming team fight, especially from non-melee heroes. But I guess they have eliminated most of the cheese too. The Necrophos, as Boba mentioned, taken out pretty much with the Ancient Apparition. Huskar also not really an option. Broodmother taken out, so just normal Dota, unless there's a last pick Meepo.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this Slardar pick. Like Pycat was saying, I feel this hero's very slow in this patch.
I think it's good at catching out an Nature's Prophet though. I think that's one of the heroes that Nature's Prophet does not like playing against.
Yeah, but the problem with this hero is like you will still need Blink at some point, and Fearon will push in the lanes into you, and it's hard to kill people like that. So, and also Fearon can snowball the game before you have Blink Dagger, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome for VP, I think, to see can they get to that Blink Dagger. Like, how much can the Slardar accomplish with these heroes? Because none of these heroes are super strong in the lane stage, and this Prophet can apply a lot of pressure together with Shaker early on. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not.
Yeah, that was a really good pick.
Yeah, the Venomancer, it's really nice for many reasons against this Slardar. You can cancel the Blink Dagger, and you can usually see him coming. And when he uses Sprint, he takes a lot more damage from all this poison from Venomancer, so quite difficult for a hero like Slardar to play up against Venomancer.
And you know, this draft from Team Liquid at this point is characteristic of a lot of the group stage drafts that had three heroes that had a lot of flexibility. I mean, Nature's Prophet almost certainly is off lane, but Earthshaker has been roaming, has been off lane, has been mid. Venomancer can be played almost in any lane.
Yeah. Queen of Pain. Interesting. I feel like both these teams, they play this meta called the cheese meta. And they pick these heroes that look like literally like cheese. They pick these yellowish, greenish heroes. And I feel like the team...
A deft analysis, Bulba.
And I feel like the team that will have more of these will win. And I just look at Liquid's draft and I just see this Fearon and this Venomancer. And I look at VP's draft and I see blue heroes, and I'm like,
It's a very purple and blue lineup,
Yeah, and I
and
just-
indeed, Team Liquid's it's more yellow and green. I can't
and I
deny
will tell
that.
you, blue heroes hate playing versus these yellow heroes. They hate playing versus Venomancer hero. He counters all the blue heroes. Because let me tell you, when you play Slardar with Blink Dagger, you do not want to play versus a Venomancer. It is not fun.
There you have it, guys.
So, Merlini.
I don't know how to follow up.
No, I got you, man. Do you think that this hero will also be yellow?
Could be Lone Druid. Lone Druid is yellowish. Actually, I don't know where they.
Well, actually, Lone
I know.
Druid is one of the heroes that Team Liquid does like to run in mid.
You don't know whether this Veno will be mid or carry. Keep in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
What do they like versus Queen mid? What
Is
the
Nyx
matchups?
Assassin banned? No, Nyx Assassin is not actually banned at this point.
I don't know where they fit into the lineup. I guess they could shift Mind Control to the Earthshaker and then put GH on the.
Anti-mage. Oh, he's a blue hero. So like, this kind of shows that it's Veno mid, I think.
Could be. Yeah, because I don't think that Anti-Mage fares very well against Quap.
It'll be Quap Slardar mid, right? And then AIM will just get.
I know that Miracle likes playing his Anti-Mage mid, and I also think, I feel like he's the one who's going to play this Anti-Mage, and it feels like a Matomba man Venomancer.
So, you know, we're talking a little bit about the lanes and where we think people will be going, but in terms of the team as a whole, how would you evaluate Team Liquid's strengths right now?
I think Team Liquid, they have a pretty cool lineup because they can kind of pressure early on. This Prophet, he applies a lot of pressure to the lanes, same as Shaker. And Venomancer, as soon as he gets his level 7, is very annoying to deal with. Whereas VP, they need the Queen of Pain to do really well in the lane and kind of carry them through the early game so that they can get to this Blink Dagger of Slardar and Void can get a few items. And then they can hopefully get some pickoffs with like some combination of Slardar, Blink Crush with A ult and Quap, or if it's Void.
It's going to be really hard for them to find pickoffs, though. I think Team Liquid
Yeah.
have like the king split push lineup. Nature's Prophet and Anti-Mage is a nightmare to play against. And then you have the Venomancer wards to see if anyone's coming. So if Slardar doesn't get a blink early, I could easily see Liquid just controlling the entire map.
Yeah, like Void offlane is really hard to play versus Anti-Mage safe lane. In general, the laning phase is really hard if the AM gets some help. And I think Liquid should go for a Rasta pick. I think it's really good this game.
And it is
It's a Lich. Okay. Yeah, I would have liked to see Rasta because I think the Rasta would have a free lane, and the Rasta AM can zone the Void and it's like kill. Maybe other heroes like Disruptor or something, but this Lich AM is like, it'll be the Lich AM lane. I think they might do Lich AM mid, right?
There's a potential that they might do that.
And then
So
Venomancer goes safe lane,
Yeah.
kind of can get a bit of help from maybe the Shaker if necessary, and
did-
Prophet can always TP in.
how do they deal with AM now? I think Bloodseeker is one of the counters that I
thing is,
see a lot. But
they do have a good counter. The Slardar, he's one of the best heroes versus Anti-Mage because AM doesn't have high armor.
They do have a Lich though.
Yeah, that is true. But in general, at least it is some catch for him.
Yes, and
And, like,
vision, so
yeah.
that way when he's trying to be tricky
Yeah.
with his blinks, you can still see him.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm not sure what VP picks here. They need to decide maybe a Bloodseeker pick again, but then the Void is like going to be versus Veno. It's I don't know. I feel like Liquid's draft looks really good.
Yeah, because at this point, it seems pretty reasonable to say that Queen of Pain will be mid and Faceless Void will be safe lane for Virtus.Pro due to the fact that Faceless Void struggles quite a bit versus Anti-Mage.
Yeah. It's Queen.
So this really, this feels like it has to be, I mean, technically Slardar can go off lane, although we've seen
Magnus. Okay.
more often roam. And there's the Magnus pick.
really hard to play versus Veno, but does make the Void decent late game versus the AM.
Well, Team Liquid has a very intimidating lineup for pushing. Virtus.Pro has a team fight combo that sent them to the lower bracket with AA and Faceless Void. Let us head into the final game of the lower bracket of the International 7, Virtus.Pro versus Team Liquid.
We have been spoiled with the beautiful Dota that we've seen not only through all of TI7, but right here in this series. An intense game 1, a long game 1, to a very convincing game 2 from Virtus.Pro. Game 3 is a new day. There's a lot of team fight. It's a lot of quick, big team fight as well from both sides.
Yeah, this is another very different game. It's always nice to see in these best of threes when the strategies shift so much from game to game. VP just played a very heal-intensive lineup. Now they're playing one without any, and one of their first picks is actually the anti-healer and Ancient Apparition. So, yeah, It's a team fight lineup from VP that has a lot of damage output, I would say. All of their heroes have a lot of damage, and Liquid are going to be focusing really heavily on their lanes. I think when you pick Lich 5th like this, it sends a message about what your goal is in the game. You want to secure those lanes, you want to get a head start, and then they want to push. They have Veno and the Furion, and then of course the anti-mage for that split push. Looking over at VP, their split push not as good, but
Their team fight.
Empowered Void is something VP have been very good at playing with, and Magnus in general is a classic for VP. We saw it so much at the Kiev Major, this Magnus Ursa that they used to love to play. They also played Magnus Void in that tournament, I believe, and they even have amplified damage. So VP's damage is high. Liquid will be looking to some good lanes.
So we're talking about like the team Liquid, like they got the split push, they got Prophet, you talked about Anti-Mage with their strength for the split push as well. How does VP now time this? We see sweet team fight with, you can get that RP, Sonic Wave, all that combination together. It looks really nice for Virtus.Pro. But are they able to do that? Can they force Team Liquid into a position where they have to fight into VP's heroes?
That's the question. I think something to look out for in this game will be the Faceless Void's item build. I think item builds on this hero are very telling about how the team views the game plan. We've seen Voids go Linken's first as a defensive item. We've seen Voids go for very farm-intensive builds. We've seen Voids go Shadow Blade when the team needs pickoffs.
Miracle, he doesn't want to have to level up Blink. 4 heroes, they come from all sides. They pincer the anti-mage. The stun should be good enough. The skewer cancelling the Blink. You'll get it far enough away, but no one blinks himself into the trees. Miracle will fall. No one's spilling first blood. A critical kill at the start of game 3.
Miracle. Yeah, that's a really good start for VP and a very unexpected play. The reason this works is that Miracle was in no way, he didn't see that coming at all. And the magic damage of Chilling Touch is very high in the beginning. Anti-Mage doesn't have that magic resistance yet. So he is a very squishy hero against those type of ganks. And good start for VP. They got, was that 3 bounty runes? They got 3 bounty runes and first blood.
Yep. And they're already going to get the extra items out to the Queen of Pain. Now, GH and Solo just seem to be going hammer and tongs here. Now, Solo's got Chilling Touch off cooldown in 1 second time. And GH, they both walk away pretty well worse for wear from both sides, but no one else is going to come to help out. Mind Control still too busy on the bottom lane, doesn't have TP just yet.
This is a win for Solo, though. GH doesn't have any regen. So GH will throw out another fissure, and he has to run all the way back to base. Can't use the Shrine. Doesn't want to buy tangos now and send down or a salve, so this is a Shaker that's going to be off the map for a good half minute if he buys a TP, or even more if he walks back out. And that means Solo gets to pull, and that's what you want to do as AA. Get that level 6. Faceless Void against Nature's Prophet. Slightly annoying lane for the Void, but will be okay ultimately, just getting some levels up in that time walk.
Interesting choice of items coming out in the mid. I would expect this if you had like Venomancer spamming out Plague Wards, but no one's gone for the early stick. Do you kind of like that over progressing into the Null Talisman instead? Because you got a 1-1-0 build at the moment.
Yeah, I think the Magic Wand against Veno is a very good purchase. If Veno goes for the combat build here and doesn't skill Plague Ward, I think no one is very happy with that. It's almost like you have to do that as Veno in this game. Solo is actually in trouble down here. Mind Control, Orb of Venom and Boots, and he's blocking him with the Treant.
It's got to keep him blocked. It doesn't work, however. Solo able to go left and right. Fissure is there from GH.
Very
get
nice.
the kill, or help Mind Control get the kill, but take the bounty rune as well.
Is going to give Ramsey some space in that lane to get a lot of free CS, but good pressure from Liquid to prevent this AA from finding the levels. Didn't really successfully get anything out of that pull, and Shaker is finding a purpose very early here.
This is really nice for no one. Obviously a lot better at contesting the
Oh, Solo, not again.
Oh, really? Cut through the trees. The creep wave's coming in from the Radiant side. Won't block out his own teammate, however.
He almost got surrounded by the Treants there. Had a couple of tangos to work with, so could have probably chopped his way out of there, but with a well-placed fissure, that could have been a second kill.
So no one went back up to full life. He found a regeneration rune at the 2-minute mark on the top. So Battlement, for all his harassment, doesn't really pay off. The fissure from GH, however, will help out.
All right, Matumba is going for that full combat build, at least for now, 2-2-0 build on the Veno, so no Plague Wards. I'm wondering if he chose it simply because he saw the stick.
Yep.
Courier snipe by MC, and he gets out.
He does. Went
Big
straight
plays
in,
from
straight out, but now
Smart.
Matumpament's in trouble. Lil able to get the crush. This is a big kill if they can bring down the Venomancer. They need him to be a big influence, Team Liquid. And that's a kill going the way of no one. A momentum-based hero like Queen of Pain, dangerous when you give her kills, especially 2.
And Lich even TP'd in there going for the deny, but did not get it. Lil is hot on his tail. Kuro has boots. So
It's too deep.
Yeah, he's going to get out of there. There's no bounty rune to contest right now either for Lil, but he has the money now for Tranquils. So we'll be heading over to the side shop. And well, we haven't talked too much about the CS, Toby, but VP are owning the lanes. They're doing really well on farm. Even Pasha's offlane Magnus is out-farming Miracle's Anti-Mage by quite a bit here.
The no points in Empower Magnus actually out-farming the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, and he went for a fast Soul Ring, so now they have guaranteed spell casting in the lane. Very nice to have against Anti-Mage.
Oh, no one's in trouble. Matumberman looks like he's able to hit the Gale as well as the Poison Sting. A quick blink away. No one.
Is he dead?
I think he is. The one-chargers don't give him enough life. The Venomous Gale as well as the Poison Sting still having an effect, and he'll live on 38 HP. You got GH, however, hovering around, and the Fissure hits the money. 346 worth of that money, in fact.
Liquid committed a lot for that kill. They TP'd in the Nature's Prophet behind, expecting the Queen to run back to base. Then when they realized that didn't happen, they had the Shaker covering the other angle. It's a very well-coordinated kill there, and GH reaps the reward. That's his mana boots, 4 minutes in.
Lil's going to harass the mid, actually managed to run himself into the mid, get the crush off with a double damage. One more attack from Noah will find the kill, the Frost. The return kill from Kuro, but a support for Core and a heavy amount of damage into a Lich with no regeneration. He's got Frost Blast off cooldown, but it's only level 1. And no one's still got a lot of regeneration.
It's back to base time for Kuro, I think, unless he sends out a flask.
Lil,
he's gonna run back.
He's got the sprint. Mind Control's in trouble. Here comes another crush. He's going to get around the corner. A quick jump forward. They're looking for a time lock. They'll go with the crush, and then the time lock from Ramses will connect. Mind Control, he thought he'd be fine, sprouting up, attempting the TP. But Lil gets the last bit of damage in, and they kept the vision inside the sprout, making it impossible for Nature's Prophet to retreat.
And all of this movement from Mind Control has actually lost him his lane really hard. Like at this point, the Void is 32-9 and Mind Control is 14-0.
Oh,
he got the courier snipe though.
GH starting his TP, Lil the crush, gets there in time, Earthshaker. He tried to do his rotation, but he did it right underneath that Virtus.Pro ward, watching bottom rune. And Mind Control, at least he can get another courier snipe. Waiting for it. Rares can start to be gained as more and more couriers get killed.
All right, that is... now that he got 2 courier snipes, I think he's happy again. That is so big. This one was flying, I believe, was it?
Yep, it was flying courier.
That's a lot of experience as well. He was, I believe he was almost...
Oh, no one. But Tubberman's just lacquering on the dots, and this time
He's
should be enough, but he'll blink over to the shrine, so no one, the regeneration will keep him alive. And then Lil even steals the haze sprint from Matumba. This is not nice.
It's a lot of targeting on mid lane from both teams. Looks very even right now in terms of the farm, which is, I think, a good thing if you're playing Veno against Quap. I'm not too familiar with this matchup, but I would say Queen of Pain will generally have a pretty good time in this.
GH is looking for an opening in mid. They know if they can hit the Gale and the Fissure, then no one should die. They hit the Gale and the Fissure.
No sting.
Actually, then again, how many points is... Okay, that'll work. Mind Control TP's in, looking for the solo kill. Lil will arrive at Mind Control, having to commit so heavily to get the kill on the clock. Team Liquid must really believe that's worth it.
That's worth it for sure. Gets that kill on the Nature's Prophet. It's a higher level hero that he kills a higher priority core, and almost gets his level 6 for it as well. Lil will, however, get a lot out of this. This Slardar of Lil has done so much work. Found 6 kills in 7 minutes, and pretty much secured their lanes a good start overall. He helped the Magnus top in the beginning to give Pasha a good start, then he went in and killed mid, and he's killed bottom as well. He's been all over the place. And that's kind of been the mark of a lot of the successful teams that we've seen, is that their 4 position gets really involved.
Here comes Lil! He needs to get the crush off, and it's a double crush after Sonic Wave connected on both of them as well. GH can't get the Archshock stun. No one, not worth a blink in. He's got 4-1 charges. Miracle starts his TP in. They sprout, they control, but no mana to escape. No one goes down once more. So Earthshaker for a Queen of Pain, but Tubberman lucky to stay alive through it all.
And Miracle's going to head straight up to top again. Got a nice little bounty for that kill, 200 gold.
He is the ticking time bomb we have not looked at.
Yeah, the thing is, for the AM himself, this rotation is not worth it. He pays 50 gold for a TP to get a 200 gold kill, and he moves across the map like that, losing CS top and giving the Magnus some space, but for the greater good of his team, that kill is really important. And now he's back up to top to get some much-needed farm toward that Battle Fury. He's going straight for it, no in-between items this time, just treads Battle Fury as it looks with the standard Corner Shield Crawling Blade. And we're back to farming, but still, I'm looking at this Faceless Void being uncontested, and I've seen Ramsey's games with Empower on Void, how scary he can be. This is actually one of the classic carry matchups from years ago. Back in the beginning of Dota 2, we had a lot of games with Anti-Mage versus Void, where both heroes would go Battle Fury and see who could farm the hardest, and Anti-Mage always won, so that was pretty boring. But nowadays, it's different. If you have this Empower on the Void, and he itemizes correctly, he has a lot of killing potential onto the Anti-Mage. Builds like getting the Silver Edge, for example, so that he amplifies the magic damage of his team with the AA Blast, or he could get the Manta Diffusal build, so he can kill the AM with all that physical damage. With Empower, this Void can kill AM on his own later on in the game. That's worrying, because AM wants to split push, and he can die to Ramses.
Lil's looking for an opportunity to try and gank, putting down the Observer Wards, but man, this is really unlucky for him. Both of the Observer Wards he planted in range of 2 Sentry Wards that Liquid already had down. They fed the first one to the Anti-Mage, and now they can just give that mid one out whenever they want to. But Tubberman's probably looking for that. But you're right about the Faceless Void, and we haven't seen him really been in the fights just yet. That's something which Liquid have to be careful of. This is why Mind Control is now sitting inside of his own jungle. He cannot come close to this Chronosphere without just knowing the fact he's dead.
Looks like Ramses will be going for either Vlad's or Mask of Madness. More than likely the Mask as a position 1 Void. Don't see too much reason to go for the Vlads in this game. It's not even particularly good against the enemy team. So we'll be maximizing his farm with that build-up, giving him more solo kill potential. And he's keeping the pressure on this bottom lane. There's going to have to be a rotation. No, Mind Control, not again, really. Oh, I thought he was going for the curry or somewhere, but he did. Oh, he's just spawning some treants to defend his tower, basically.
He's creep skipping.
Yeah, just the treants.
He doesn't have enough mana for Wrath of Nature. GH is moving over, but this is a level 4 Earthshaker. They don't kill Faceless Void, but they can at least force him away from the tower. I don't think these treants are actually doing enough. Actually, yeah, they'll do enough damage.
And this game is, at this point, we have some nice, crazy early kills, but I think it's realistic that this game is a bit quiet now for a while. Both teams will be content to farm. It's very difficult to...
You say that. I look towards mid. Like, they're going to start with the Shadow Strike. This is a smoke move from Lil with the sprint. He's going to have the movement speed. The Ice Blast is coming in. Venomancer cannot regenerate through that. He gets the Nova off, but no one's in range.
It actually hit nobody.
Yep.
Great kill there from VP. This is the kind of plays you're going to see. Like, either they go for these skirmishes or they just farm, because Magnus is not ready to fight yet. He wants his Blink Dagger. The Void keeps farming up and getting this Mask of Madness and will keep just rising up and getting a lot of money. And you look across VP's lineup, if you want to kill, you're using the Sonic Wave. And for Liquid, what's the kill potential, really, right? You have a Lich support together with Shaker, who's level 4. It's not that easy to find kills. You can TP in the Furion, but it's hard. AM doesn't really want to get involved too much. He wants to farm. So it's going to be a lot of farming and split push here, and that's why I feel like we're going to see a Shadow Blade coming out for Ramses later. It was a build we saw Resolution do for Empire. I can't remember the exact build order, but I think he also went these similar items. Ice Blast? Where did that hit?
It hit Matubberman in the mid lane.
Oh.
He's just trying to force the lane out. Knowing that no one doesn't have the Sonic Wave means that Venomancer is fine in mid. There is enough burst damage. But they're pushing so many heroes down the bottom lane. Pasha is still free farming top. So you talk about the Shadow Blade coming up. I'm thinking about the other initiations. Once this Mask of Madness is on Ramses, you'll have the Blink Dagger on Pasha pretty soon, especially if they give him the space. And no one is controlling the mid lane up nicely. He's already got the Bell, so you've got that amplification kick in from Virtus.Pro.
When the Blinks come out, it's a different story. Like, then VP will want to fight a lot more. I'm just saying, for now, it's fairly quiet. Slardar will probably try to farm his Blink as well. He's taken over the bottom lane, while Ramses is now going to actually go for a smoke play here. They're going to bring the carry in toward the mid with AA. Ice Blast is online.
They're coming to kill Matumba.
This
Mask of Madness, they're going to leap into Chrono. Ice Blast is available as well. They'll commit everything. Apart from the Sonic Wave still on cooldown, but it's a Venomancer death. Plague Wards get mopped up and the pressure on the Tier 1 tower is released.
And this is a nice quick move because when
Mind Control, bottom lane, they'll get the extra stun. Lil wants to run away with the crush onto GH. They've got a chance for it. Mind Control already used a Sprat to try and control Lil. That damage brings him down to 17 HP. The Orb of Venom, Lil TP out. They don't know he's there. He's gone. But the pressure can at least be no, they're still looking for him. They can apply pressure to the Tier 1 tower on bottom as the upside.
It's still good for them to force Lil away. They don't want him to sit down there and just farm his Blink Dagger on his position 4. So
TP's coming in. Ancient Apparition. Ice Blast just came back off cooldown. The Sprout will reveal him there.
That's awkward, Solo.
Yeah, where's Friends? Friends are not here. Queen of Pain doesn't have a blink. Instead, she's having to walk her way over. GH able to get the stun Matumberman here. Ice Blast connects on the Venomancer. Sonic Wave. It hits both GH and Matumberman, allowing no one to get a double kill and no deny. Matumberman still gets the kill. No one was looking at it, but a little too late.
Quick movement from no one's squad made that look very, very good for VP. They do lose their AA, but they get the tower deny. Slaughter gets to farm the wave a bit. They get 2 kills.
But now Mind Control takes the mid tower, triggering the drum charges, so his Treants can do the rest of the work.
And Ramses is just a moment too late to get the deny.
This seems better for Miracle. With the death of these tier 1 towers, the Animage is going to get more and more space. Battle Fury was done at the 13-minute mark, and he's already looking to go into that Manta style next.
The thing to keep in mind with AM is, in a lot of the successful anti-mage games we've seen, he's been like a last pick in a game where he's not that countered and where the hero will just naturally, by farming, if it free farms, you have that feeling that this guy will just win the game later. I don't have that feeling in this game for the AM pick in isolation. I think the solutions for VP are there. They have cores that deal a lot of damage with Empower. They have the hard lockdown, which I think is always extremely valuable against anti-mage. A spell like Chronosphere, this long duration stun. All right, that was a kill.
Yeah,
Was not looking there.
He died back at base. There's a double damage route on the Nature's Prophet.
Combining up with Venom. Got the kill, but they're going to lose their tower. So I think for Liquid, the challenge here is going to be Miracle's going to farm a lot, but they need a secondary as well to have a good game. And right now, neither Mind Control nor Matumberman are having the best of the games of their lives, to be honest. Like, Mind Control got those 2 courier snipes, which was amazing, but his farm is still, it's good, but I don't know if it's high enough, and mainly the Venomancer is a problem. Actually, looking twice at MC, this doesn't look too bad. But the cores on the graph are still VP favored behind that anti-mage. And Empower is the big deal breaker.
RP, Pasha commits in.
All right, see.
Quick and efficient kill. They just wanted GH, and they got him.
I'm going to be monitoring pretty closely whether, like, how this Void versus AM farming goes when Void has Empower. I have a feeling it's pretty even. Without Empower, AM takes a massive.
He realized that TP wasn't going to work when Lil's that close. Yeah, we get the cold feet, shockwave, and the crush, which means he goes nowhere. Pasha gets the easy pick. Blink Dagger is up on the Magnus. That's what revealed and got the kill in the mid to
Lil
start
pinged
with.
him. Oh my god, is he getting away with this?
He's
Lil pinged him. He's like, Nature's Prophet was here. He TP'd out.
Nature's Prophet is here, and Lil TP's out. No! Not in time. Matumberman just has enough damage to get the kill. Meanwhile, GH and Miracle teaming up to go against Solo. The Observer Ward's up on the hill. Solo, okay, well, while you're there, you may as well take the bounty rune away from Miracle and keep running. Mana Void's up, so Solo can't TP away from this one. Mind Control will come to help out. Sprout doesn't really help him. Oh, actually, okay, they'll just do it anyway. The Ice Blast turns. It will connect onto Miracle. So Ancient Apparition will fall.
Yep. Another kill for Miracle. What's the plan here for VP's heroes? So Shadowblade is the next item for Magnus, so that will be their catch against the AM that he will not be able to detect. Blink Dagger almost up for the Slardar, and the Void is building toward Diffusal, actually getting a lot of damage bottom and top at the same time.
He blinks, he lives, he TPs. He will survive all the way home. Miracle will go. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, there was a little bit of posture between Matumberman as well as Ramses. Ramses also had to TP out after getting hit by the Nova and Gale. Just not taking that chance with a Faceless Void.
No. Speaking of Void, his Diffusal Blade is completed in a moment, so that will be his first item of choice. I'm guessing next up is either Shadowblade or Manta for this particular game.
Mind Control's being a real nuisance now. I'm wondering if, like, we're only 17 minutes and you don't want to start placing Tinker Wards down for this guy, but he keeps creep skipping out with these Treants, causing a little bit of equilibrium problems in the lane.
I don't know how much this is worth it relative to the time it takes, though. He's losing out on a lot of farm by doing it, I think. I mean, if you have nothing better to do on the map, then fine, but
it feels like
he seems to be dealing with it pretty fine.
It's like he's forcing the rotations, however. Like, it's forcing 1 or 2 heroes to come up, try and get rid of at least the creeps, and then he just TP to the opposite lane. Because now he's out on bottom, pushing to the tier 2.
He's definitely
the VP move north.
The way I think about it, he's buying information for farm. He's trading gold for info, and if that info helps their anti-mage farm, then it's probably a good choice. But for now, Miracle is doing very well, at least. He only died that first blood very early on in the game, has been farming very well and is progressing. Kept track on him and the Void, by the way. The over the last 5 minutes, I think the AM has gained 100 gold more than the Void. So there's almost no difference between these two with that Empower buff, with the current map control that is. And you just, you look at this Liquid lineup and you gotta, oh.
He's had enough of Mind Control, but Mind Control just juked him around the trees. Triggers the drum charge, has Ramses nearby as well, so Mind Control sprout up, but Lil's already there. Ice Blast coming in, Mind Control, he does get clipped by it in the trees, even time locked up.
Oh my god, that damage.
Yeah.
Whew. That hurts. Yeah, I'm looking over to Liquid's lineup and I'm like, I'm trying to see what hero is going to make the next move.
GH would probably be the biggest.
They need that Shaker Blink
dagger.
is up. A Shaker Blink is up. It gives them the possibility of taking the team fight. But when it comes to catch and setting up the fights, they only really have Sprout or GH. And it's not realistic that Shaker has to engage every fight for them. Shaker is one of those heroes where you'd like him to also be secondary sometimes. It's nice if he can engage with Echo on a core and kill him off, but in many situations you want to sit back, Fissure, counterplay, and then look for that Echo.
They're coming
It's not easy for them to set that up right now.
Mind Control and Miracle are attacking the tier 2 town, so it's up to Virtus.Pro if they want to fight this. Thanks to that Blink Dagger they do have up, it should give Liquid the advantage at the beginning of the fight. The question is, do they want to do it? Manage to double stop, and the Echo Slam combining with the Chain Frost GH!
That works.
A double kill, Solo and Lil, the two supports of Virtus.Pro. They'll go down, Roshan is the counter, however, Virtus.Pro claiming that. So 2 kills and a tier 2 tower on bottom lane for a trade-off of Roshan.
I think it's okay for Liquid. That Rosh was lost anyway when they went for the tower, so at least they found those 2 kills with the Shaker and Lich combining their ultis. Getting some nice gold and experience for both of them.
The only downside is it is the first reveal of the Blink Dagger. They maybe wanted more than 2 supports for that.
That's a fair point. It's not necessarily the best. Oh, Lil trying to.
And if we tried to shift click that, so he blink into crush. The Mind Control is being a real nuisance. And no one has Sonic Wave and Orchid.
Yep. Ice Blast gonna miss.
Now Mind Control reads it right, he backs out.
Backing away this time. And Anti-Mage, first big item, first important item for him in terms of being able to fight and farm more effectively is now going to be completed. There comes the Manta style.
Wow, GH, this is actually really nice for him. He sat there farming thanks to the Observer Ward. He knew exactly what he can get away with. Mind Control doesn't actually have... Oh, wait, they sentry. Pasha misses the skewer. Mind Control's on the way out. No one's right behind the Fidget creation from GH. Well, that's going on. The Lich ends up dying to Ramses. Earthshaker still wants out, hiding in the trees. This time, it's Queen of Pain to ping it and Lil to scout for it. He gets the crush with the amplification. No way to hide for GH. And the Orchid of no one, making it impossible for any kind of counter stuns or fissures from the Earthshaker.
Ramses killed the Lich without using Chrono. The Diffusal Blade is a very nice counter against that hero. He just jumps on him with Time Walk, starts hitting him. After Ice Armor, you just Diffusal and kill him off, and Lich can't do anything about this hero at all. It's a pretty bad hero matchup once he has Diffusal Blade.
Pasha's looking for another kill. The Shadow Blade Scout moving into the dire jungle. Unfortunately for Pasha, there is nobody there. Virtus.Pro actually then send Ramses to the southern half of the map. That is where Miracle is farming, but he just dodges it too. Blinks up as VP rotate, he'll go into the dire jungle to the northern side. Observer Ward's up from Liquid. They'll see VP now arriving at the tier 1 tower.
These Plague Wards are important as well. Ramses is scared of getting
Pasha.
Shaker, good sentry.
Scouted out, the Fissure will hold him there. GH has the Echo Slam in 4 seconds time. Pasha, the Chain Frost won't bounce. So they burn through that. And there's double TPs coming to the top lane. It's like VP understand they cannot get this fight. So they look for somebody else. A Miracle! No! Whoops!
Oh, he doesn't have Manta ready.
Oh, this is problematic. 3 seconds till his back off cooldown. He'll blink out. He doesn't have a TP scroll, however, and thanks to the Tinker Ward up on the hill. Miracle, he can't play the Fog of War. Mantis blinks up. Pasha as well as Lil, they're coming. And Miracle's gone north. There's your blink up. Lil gets the crush, and Miracle will go down.
That is so high value from that Tinker Ward. That is the biggest kill on the map. 1 minute without Miracle, no buyback. Obviously doesn't want to use it if he had it, but this allows VP to push out probably all the lanes and maybe find a secondary kill because they get space on the map. That is exactly what's going to happen. Hey.
Yeah, wait for that. Wait for the Courier Snipe too. Kuro can see he's trying to choose between Solo and Kuro. And Solo just lets the Ice Blast go. He's got a little bit of help on top of him as well as GH moving over. Lil looking for the crush, but the Fissure will stop it. So they go for the Nova as well as the Gale. Is it enough? No one arrives. Going to kill off Kuro. Looks towards the Earthshaker. And Pasha, a short range skewer. Echo Slam from GH trying to fight back. but it is just not enough. No one gets the double kill. Lil was the casualty of war for Virtus.Pro.
And Mind Control once again finds himself in the most arbitrary position on the map. I feel like every minute I look at Mind Control, he's just standing in some weird corner.
Well, every time his
waiting.
TP's off cooldown, he's in those trees.
Yeah.
He's getting the triggers up and pushing out the lane, always making it difficult for Virtus.Pro to have any kind of momentum. And also making the map still safer for Miracle. He's looking to go directly to Butterfly after having that Manta. He's screwing out the BKB, not going to go for that. Is that the wisest thing when you've still got a decent amount of magical burst and control?
I think he can't go BKB this game. I think it's too weak, actually,
Go
for now.
carry?
I don't know if the Butterfly is the best alternative choice, but I really get the idea of not getting BKB. The problem is there's so much BKB piercing stuff on the other side. Ice Blast pierces it, at least the Shatter. You have the RP, you have the Chrono. There's so much lockdown. You can even amplify through the BKB. He might have to get it later, but for now, the BKB will not really allow him to fight with confidence. So then it's probably better to get a farm.
Confidence. Ooh. Worried he was going to miss the Chrono once more. Jumps forward, using that Mask of Mana to be into GH. Support's coming in from Mind Control. Now the Lich holding, bouncing up towards Pasha. It's going to stay with Ramses, who lets the Mana Star go. Pasha still visible under the Sentry Ward planted from Team Liquid. He wanted a good RP, but just had no mana at the end of the day.
Quick counterplay there. Great reaction from them to come in and solve that problem.
Now Lil looking to go towards mid. Amplification on Betubberman. Blink, Crush. Here comes Ramses. Chrono is the Venomancer on the edge of the 4-star with the Fidger creating space. Sonic Wave and the Ice Blast will connect on 3 heroes. No one won't. They've already backed up because they found the kill on the Venomancer. Ramses has to jump out. Miracle. The Mana Void is not enough. Ramses still alive. He'll die to the Poison Sting at this rate. Time Warp can't come in time. Miracle's doing the work. 3 heroes down for Virtus.Pro. Solo's TP out will be successful. Same for no one. A Team Liquid ready now to add some pressure to this mid lane.
Big moves from Liquid coming in here. The kill on Void especially is very important. Now AM is going to create a gap, and this matchup between these two is very item dependent. When the Anti-Mage gets the Abyssal Blade, he has the chance to actually kill off the Void on his own. Until then, the Chronosphere is kind of the stronger play.
Watch for Pasha. Watch for Pasha. They don't see him. Solo RP on the Anti-Mage, but GH counter initiation, looking for the Fidget Stun. Hits on all 3, allowing Miracle now to get a double kill. Perfect control, perfect positioning from the Earthshaker. And he even gets out safely.
Instant counterplay. Now, Mind Control may have overstayed his welcome a little bit, or has he?
It's a trap. It's a trap. Queen of Pain. The mana is burning. Cannot blink. The Orchid wears off, but the pop from the Orchid allows Mind Control to end the Wicked 6 streak, giving him 755 gold as well.
And these last few minutes for Liquid have been so good, and Mind Control is really confident. He's just TPing up here with 200 health. He doesn't care. It's not small.
Ramses
push up.
He'll get the kill on the Koro. So, yep, okay, you add that pressure, but with Shrines right behind you, a little too cocky from Liquid to add that pressure to Tier 2, but they're going to get it. Tier 2 tower will fall, but let's have a look at this fight once more. A quick RP, and then counter.
Actually,
and 3-man stun.
He only gets the Echo Slam Aftershock stun onto the mag, but he forces the Queen of Pain to move away, and they can't connect the Fissure. Or, I mean, they can't connect the Queen of Pain damage, and then the Fissure hits all 3. Really nice counterplay from GH. So fast on his Earthshaker.
I'm glad VP can laugh about it. That is still in this position. But last couple of fights is Team Liquid who are getting back in front. Yes, GH has been one of the big instrumental parts of Team Liquid, but they've taken this gold graph from a 1k advantage to Virtus.Pro to a 4,000 advantage in favor of Team Liquid. Even the experience graph, for the first time in this game, it leans the way of Team Liquid as well.
Yeah, the Anti-Mage is really, really getting big fast now. Butterfly is going to up his farming rate even further. He's starting to build into that Abyssal Blade now so that he can kill the Faceless Void. And Ramses with that death in mid, he lost a lot of momentum, and now he's actually changing up his build. He was thinking about the Shadow Blade as I expected, but he actually went for the... He's queuing up the BKB for now, feeling like he has to be able to stand and deliver in the fights, else he's going to get controlled by GH. And this will make it harder for them to catch the AM. The less Shadow Blades they have, the less opportunities are going to present themselves. As now Pasha is the only real hero on the Radiant that can catch this AM off guard while he's farming. So at this point, Liquid's going to just get a really big miracle.
And Liquid are fine with this. Keep the pressure on, all the side lanes keep getting pushed. This is something which Mind Control has been doing from the very beginning. In questionable positions, but it's still been doing the job. And Virtus.Pro, what do you want to do in the meantime? You're looking for a kill, but while these lanes continue to pressure in, it becomes very obvious when you go for a smoke gank, and probably that's one of the reasons why we haven't seen many of them. You're only letting Pasha come out with a Shadow Blade, trying to find some of these openings. The rest of it becomes a game of trades. No one's looking to attack the tier 2 tower up at the top lane, but he doesn't know when Team Liquid are going to force the issue either. Nature's Prophet can be anywhere. Having that silence makes her life very, very dangerous when no one then has to burn BKB just to escape from the Orchid. And in fact, looks like they're going to TP down to bottom lane. They're looking for Miracle. The Observer Wards are down again. This Tinker Ward Ramsey even started farming just to lull Miracle into a false sense of security. The Crushers are out, but Miracle is tanking this. The Manta is down. Lil's losing life. No one has to initiate forward. Mind Control in the neighborhood. The BKB Sonic Wave animation pop from this. Even the RP being committed. The message is sent from Virtus.Pro where they want to kill no matter what.
The thing is, it's worth it. If they don't lose any heroes now, it's worth it to drop all of your ultimates for that kill. It's
Where's the
such
vision?
a big kill.
Pasha TPing out. The Sprout's too far away. They're all going to escape. No one's in the tree line. He doesn't have his BKB up, but he'll blink further north. He'll buy a TP scroll, but it'll still take another 25 seconds for it to come off cooldown. So he ventures deeper into enemy territory.
And they don't end up finding absolutely nobody there. And now they have to TP away. Mission successful for VP. That looked a little bit clunky. I think the Slaughter stun was too early with the Chronosphere, and then the Skewer actually touched the Chrono. Yeah,
it's
that's dead Lil, I think.
Lil's able to get the crush off, but support's coming in. Mind Control right in front of him. He'll be involved and actually let Matumbaman have it just from the dot effect. And maybe they think about Roshan. Chrono's on cooldown for 40 seconds. So Team Liquid, this is doable.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Pasha doesn't want to let this go. The Ice Blast will fly forward. Connects on 3 heroes. Ramses, he's coming in with a time dilation. This is really problematic. The Nova will kick out. Venomancer will die, even though he does get the ulti up, but no one picking up the pieces. The Fissure from GH. It gives Mind Control some space. The Blink can come forward in a moment. GH still battling up against Ramses, but Ramses can time walk forward. He'll find the kill. No one found his target, and Nature's Prophet. It's a straight buyback, but look where it goes. Down to the side lanes, trigger the Wrath of Nature, always make VP look behind. This is paranoid play.
That was such a beautiful combination, though, coming out from all these 3 VP players. The Skewer into the Ice Blast, they knew VP or Liquid were going to react. Actually, maybe we don't have time for this. There's still fighting going on.
Yep, they were looking for the opening. Treants will come in. No one can try and help clear this off. Sonic Waves off cooldown in a couple of seconds' time. Ramses has the Chronosphere, Manta, and Diffusal Blade. Even Blink Slaughter ready to go. Liquid, they really want to contest this. The Sprout from Mind Control gives them the vision, and they'll realize that VP, they're backing out for the moment.
Chrono is ready, though.
Yeah, it's the combination up, but look at the creep waves on the side. Even top lane, there's a catapult wave with 4 range creeps reaching the tier 3 tower. VP will want to send somebody back to deal with this.
Yeah, they're going to send the Queen of Pain back and smoke up the other heroes. No Boots of Travel on no one, though, so he can't connect for this. This is a bold play.
Oh, Mind Control, what are you doing? He's in the tree line on the side. Is he really trying to force this? Meanwhile, the Chronosphere is up. Skewer back into the Ice Blast and Echo Slam. GH trying to create space here for Team Liquid, able to do so. Now, with the Chain Frost, Ramses wants to battle against Roshan, but it's his worst friend. He'll come and bring it over towards Solo while they bump up to the shrine. Regeneration's there from Liquid. No one's in too deep. A blink away will get him back out to the shallow end, to where the kids can swim. Miracle once more. Mana Void, he can't see him. No one goes up. It's a secondary shrine. He's able to burn. Meanwhile, up on top lane, Mind Control has taken the range rack to tier 3 tower. They weren't looking behind. Mind Control, he has been one shady prophet this entire time, and he's even going to get a kill on Solo. He leaves him to die at the hands of the Orchid. Can he get out, however? Lil's behind. The crush is there. Ramsey brings on the damage. Mind Control will die, but so does Roshan. They got the Aegis Immortal into the hands of Miracle, and Liquid are coming for your top.
That was so high value play from Mind Control. Oh, what he managed to accomplish there. Getting the tower, the racks, getting the support kill, forcing rotation, and then getting them the Roshan. That was all Nature's Prophet that moment. Just beautiful stuff. No one did survive, but That was so expensive for VP.
I want to give so many props just to Mind Control. We can't flag it more than enough. Like, how much pressure has he had on those sidelines time and time again? He set it up as well. He forced VP to come back, then VP go to Roshan, and they're just trapped. Well, it's almost like picking in the middle for Team Liquid. They're throwing the objective one way or the other, and VP had to make a choice. They've got a big combination of abilities that they want to synergize together to get that team fight on Team Liquid, and it got pretty close to the Roshan pit. That skewer from Magnus was wonderful, pulling him into the Ice Blast, but
I think
the effect of Liquid was just so good.
I think what happened was that they chronoed, and then they skewered into that chrono with 2 heroes and Ice Blast, and then he didn't get RP off.
Well, let's have a quick look at it again. So
Right.
this is the wave. Okay, no, this is actually just them taking top.
That's the real replay.
We did it, boys. Nice. That's a nice loud moment.
So I'm pretty sure they didn't get RP off in the pit, or if they did, it didn't have much effect. Maybe they messed up and layered it with the chrono, because I was really surprised with the outcome of that. When I saw the heroes skewered into that chrono, and there were 3 heroes chronosphered, and Ramses was just wailing away at them in the BKB, I thought there were going to be multiple kills there for VP. But Liquid's heroes stayed alive, counterplayed well, and got the objective that they needed. And now they can choose if they want to use this Aegis aggressively, or if they want to take it easy for a bit.
They will. They just got a Blink Dagger on the Venomancer, and Miracle just got his full Abyssal Blade completed up. This guy's a tank. Not only does he have the Aegis the Immortal, he's got the cheese, and the ping is coming. You know what they want. They got the range racks on top. Mind Control, well, wherever he goes, Team Liquid follows. They're coming to the bottom lane, and they may just force the issue. But where is the opening? They need to find that against Virtus.Pro. VP have all of their combo up. Kuro's going to look for it. Observer Ward down. Sentry's already there. Lil comes out for the crush. Miracle moves forward, and they jump in. Queen of Pain destroyed! You get the Chronosphere down. Ramsey trying to do the damage. Animations get back out. This one, the RP from Pasha keeps the control going. Liquid, they've gone in too deep. Venomancer gets the ulti out. He coats 3 heroes in it, but now you get a secondary Miracle. Thanks to Aegis Immortal. Remember, he's still got the cheese as well, but there's a lot of dot effects they're trying to get rid of, triggering off the shrines. Miracle will come back in once more, while Nature's Prophet has headed top. You know what Mind Control wants. This is now bait out from Team Liquid. The one person who hasn't taken the bait is Ramses. He's watching that melee Rax that got attacked, but, well, you pull out, they're coming back in again.
Still need to be careful now with the AA Ice Blast available. Again, Miracle can die to any stun plus Ice Blast combination with a couple of attacks, so
This is
has
so
to be cautious, not able to use the cheese under that effect.
I love how Mind Control is doing this, where he's playing a split push game, doesn't have Maelstrom, doesn't even have the Desolator, not looking for those quick building kills just because he has the items to do it. He's keeping the control for the team fights while still adding the split push effect.
Yep, he's just sending trans, man. He's just sending trans. And you're thinking, okay, that's going to give a lot of gold to VP, but it's forcing all these rotations, it's causing all this chaos that has given Liquid advantages.
Yep.
And I guess, I think Liquid are not too happy with that, to be honest. They got the buyback from no one, which is good, but they didn't do any structural damage. They didn't get that tier 3 tower or any barracks out of their Aegis, but it looks like they're still thinking about getting the pounce off here.
They still have the cheese on Miracle. This may be enough for them, even though they have to be mindful about the Ancient Apparition. Ice Blast is on cooldown for 8 more seconds. That's enough time for Miracle to add some pressure.
Chrono's up in 10 seconds. I think Miracle's going to die in it if he gets Chrono now. Chrono, Ice Blast, BKB Void.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of save for him. Lil gets the amplification on at least. He can break free with the Mana Style. He knows that, Pasha. Is there any... Oh, there's no sentry wards close, so if he wants to... Okay, there's one now in the lane. So they'll see that. But this isn't up to Liquid to force the issue right now. They're not on an Aegis timing. But it allows the push to go through the top lane. Wrath of Mage is going to help out with this. In fact, it actually just stole the farm of Miracle. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Oh, he's going to get the Hex now.
Yep, he's
Almost
going
got it.
straight in for the Scythe of Fires. He just needs the ultimate orb, and he's got it. Mind Control has 1,500, almost 15,000 to 16,000 net worth at the moment. And all of it's really, really effective gold. Miracle's the only one banking a little bit more as he builds in for the heart.
Yeah, he has to tank up. I think not going BKB at all in this game might be the right choice, and just getting a lot of health, evasion, and armor so that you can try to stay alive. He knows he is going to get caught by something, whether it be a Solar Stun, an RP, or a Chrono. So he needs to give his teammates enough time and possibilities to counterplay, give GH that extra second to find the good Echo and Fissure. And of course, if they start getting defensive items like, they have the Solar Crest on Lich already. maybe they'll get an additional defensive item to try to save him.
This is feeling very, very familiar to Game 1, where Team Liquid now just have Virtus.Pro locked inside the base, and VP have good ways to counter-push it. The Empower being primarily it. You can get the Maelstrom build up as well onto the Faceless Void, but it looks like he's going to Monkey King Bar instead.
He needs that item.
Yeah, he needs to be able to hit into the Butterfly.
It's the absolutely best purchase he has here by far. This MKB, he is going to be able to bring AM so low in the chrono that there will be kills. Of course, being able to defusal off that ice armor is also very important to keep in mind. It does make a big difference in these late game scenarios, having that extra 9 armor and the attack speed slow. But Void doesn't have to worry about that.
VP, how long do you really want to stay in here? Not much longer by the looks of it. The 4-man smoke up, the creep wave's pushing down the mid, no one will have to defend that. All the creep waves are out far enough for Virtus.Pro that this isn't going to be as obvious as the Dire Observer Ward watching the maneuver of Queen of Pain. The fact that she even comes out of her home starts to beg a couple of questions.
Ramses got his 25, took the Time Walk cast range. Miracle went for the agility over the Mana Void cooldown. We've seen different pickups in that slot. The Mana Void goes from 70 to 20-second cooldown, or you get 25 agility. This game is just valuing that extra armor and damage and attack speed a bit more. I think it's the right choice as well.
And it takes so much just to kill the Miracle illusions.
Yeah.
How are they meant to kill the hero itself? Like, Bloodthorn's going to help out with that.
I'm actually not worried about that for VP. I think they have damage in spades to kill this AM for the rest of the game. When this MKB comes out for the Void especially, they can kill the Anti-Mage. It's more about whether they can catch him off guard and prevent the counterplay out from Liquid being powerful enough.
Ramses,
there we go.
They found him. The Observer Ward does the work. The Ice Blast will connect, even Sonic Wave.
Case in point.
Yeah.
There you go. That's...
And look at VP. Instantly, they're trying to add the pressure. They're going down the mid, but look where Nature's Prophet is also headed. He appears up on the top lane. The army of Treants is there, and any kind of aggression the VP want to do, they're not going to be able to. Lil searching for GH on the bottom lane. But we are still sitting in nighttime. It only just turned to day. So GH had the ability to stay just out of vision of Lil.
Farm just keeps getting racked up. Nature's Prophet has overtaken the Queen of Pain now, so big items coming the way of Mind Control, the Scythe plus 2300, and even now double damage rune might make them want to go for this. Gale misses completely from Matumba, man. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, he was trying to use the Observe Ward and then just guess the exact position of Lil, but Lil moves so quickly with Yules and Sprint
that
it's difficult to work that exact math out.
And he's going to get a Shadow Blade as well, so more ability to catch. Kuroki got spotted, and ow.
Good kill for Ramses.
Yeah, that's amplify damage for you.
I love how efficient Mind Control's also being. He just TP'd from the bounty rune on his top to the lane on top. Like, that's as far as he went. He just took the...
Got the Hex off.
Maybe now they get the kill on the Faceless Void. The fissure is there from GH. Echo Slam stopping Slaughter at Ramses. He tries to get free. The BKB's been triggered. Here comes your Ice Blast. It's in deep, but no! Pasha! The RP doesn't connect on anything. No one was ready to rip apart the back lines, but now it's Matumba looking for the kill onto Pasha, keeping that Plague Ward poison sting damage onto him. Prophet TP's forward. They'll have the Hex, combining it up with the Sprint. They break him free. It's Lil doing that with the Quelling Blade. I don't think it's going to be enough. Gem of True Sight, loss of Virtus.Pro, and 70 seconds with no Magnus, and he has no buyback.
That's a big kill.
No Roshan for Liquid. They may just come for a push now because of this.
They'll have 30 seconds, actually. If they keep scouting that pit, they have a Plague Ward in there. They will definitely try to take this Rosh when it spawns, knowing that Mag is down and has no RP. And I'm pretty sure this will just flat out go the way of Liquid unless this Void finds a Chronosphere in the next 20 seconds. Liquid will just claim it.
And that Chrono needs to be coupled. No one needs to be there with the Sonic Wave and Bloodthorn, or else they just don't have the damage as well.
Yeah.
That Plague Ward watches. Roshan spawns up right now. So Team Liquid instantly don't know, and Miracle goes after it. They've already got one cheese onto the Anti-Mage.
There isn't much VP can do about this without their RP, I think. They could, if they had a smoke, maybe they could try it.
They just use Ice Blast to push out the top lane as well, so it's not available for 4 more seconds. And that's just the flight time is going to be too long. Liquid will be done before it will reach it.
This is big. So now the way VP have to defend against this Anti-Mage is that they need to kill him in Chrono or RP, and then they need to kill him with the other one afterwards in order to kill him twice. Either that or you kill the other heroes first.
Somebody want the secondary cheese? It's currently sitting there inside of Roshan. They gave the other cheese over to the Venomancer, so Anti-Mage dropped his.
Kur's like, okay, I'll get it.
If I have to. Did somebody forget something? The stove was left on. Gotta melt that cheese. All right, so VP. Testing time gonna come their way. Another Aegis push from Team Liquid. They've already taken that top range rank, but that's not a huge amount of momentum. The Nature's Prophet is probably gonna be the hero to watch. How hard does he push and which lane does he push? And do they force VP to split?
The biggest deal right now is definitely the Aegis. That's the thing to look out for, is do Liquid get value out of this Aegis the Immortal on Anti-Mage, because Miracle's more or less maxed out by now. He can maybe replace one item, he can replace his treads for something, but beyond that, he's at his peak. AM falls off later compared to other heroes. Void still has a bit of room to grow, but it's also more or less maxed out. But he has the amplifications that AM doesn't have from his lineup. He has the Empower, he has the Amplify Damage, or Corrosive Haze as it's called nowadays. So this is the timing. This should be the strongest point for Liquid now in the game, is right now. And if they execute it well, they could just go on to the next round.
Well, they got a decent way of pushing through bottom. The upside of Ramsey's actually having this plus 600 time walk cast range is he can move between the lanes really, really quickly. A 6-second cooldown for the time walk. Able to disengage from the fights of Team Liquid or engage in deeper.
Man, his damage is so high as well. He hits for 500 with Cleave. And he doesn't have a crit yet, though. That's the silver lining here for the Anti-Mage, is that Ramses can't crit him, but...
Well, he's not even going for that. He's got Butterfly in his quick buy.
Yeah, he wants to have some defensive utility against the Anti-Mage. AM doesn't like buying Monkey King Bar. It's annoying when you have to buy that item over other items. So
well, Batummerman going to start with the Gale, but it doesn't matter.
Quick Manta.
Yep.
Gets out. And they do have the backup of Magnus behind. Keep that in mind. He has the Force Staff. They want to immediately save Ramses if he gets jumped on. And we've seen a couple of previous situations, actually, where it was costly for VP that Lil didn't go for a Force Staff. I think a secondary one would be very good here, but he is opting for the Lotus Orb. Try to counter that Abyssal Blade of Anti-Mage, I would guess.
That push is coming in through bottom while Miracle goes in through top. We're going for the full split screen right now as Matummerman jumps in with the Blink, Shivas, and Nova. Ramses gets the Chronosphere off, but who does he really get? It's only the one hero he's doing almost no damage to. It's the AM Pasha. That'll work with the Echo Slam. GH will arrive with the Chain Frost damage as well. They need to split out right now. And Pasha, he also get hit by the Chain Frost Sonic Wave. No one trying to get something back in this fight, but the bash from Anti-Mage. The Aegis Immortal will finally trigger. Gal connects on no one. Nature's Prophet, Mind Control. He's taking the bottom lane of Rax while this top lane fight's going on, but it's still going the way of Team Liquid. Another stun. Slider will fall. No buyback on him. Miracle's going in deep. The Yule Scepter buys space for Ramses. Time walk back into the safety of his own base, but no one in the middle of nowhere has to buy back, but you've lost both your side lanes of Rax. Team Liquid from all sides be standing upon Virtus.Pro. The tier 3 tower in the mid will now fall. Where is the defense? You don't have Chrono, RP, Sonic Wave. AA will be back up in a second, but GG, well played. VP realized the truth. The truth is Team Liquid will eliminate them from the International and advance forward into the next round of the lower bracket, keeping the Team Liquid hopes alive.
And that looked like that hug from Miracle to Mind Control looked a little more,
it was
how to say it, a little more intense than usual. I think that was a thank you hug for playing an amazing game. The Nature's Prophet, outstanding performance from Mind Control in this game, and the whole lineup just really came together. GH clutch moments with the Shaker. Miracle obviously finding a lot of farm on the Anti-Mage, and you know, they found these very small key opportunities where they just flat out they outplay VP in those moments. That's, you gotta say, they found the opportunities, they got the right items. The Hex from the Nature's Prophet gave them a key kill. They found Courier Snipes, they got down towers, they got the Roshans, and eventually that is enough to secure this win. Great series though. I think VP showed some great Dota.
Yeah, they did. They had a fantastic run. They managed to get their way through LGD. They got knocked down by LFY, who obviously are looking in superb form. We had a terrific game from that series. They dropped down, but that is where their run will end. Team Liquid, we thought their run was going to be hard. 2-1 out by Invictus Gaming. Then they had to go up against Secret, up against Team Empire, and now they bring down the second CIS team. Empire and Virtus.Pro, both removed by Team Liquid, but it's the fashion, it's the style that Team Liquid did it. Everyone thought Liquid could be a grand final team. They thought maybe it would be an entire winners bracket run for Team Liquid, that they could go the whole way. And they have proven themselves. They really have. Their coordination, their team play, it's really back to where we thought it was going to be at the start of this tournament. It's coming late, but it is here. Team Liquid will get themselves through in a 2 victory against Virtus.Pro. Congratulations, Liquid.
Team Liquid now secures themselves a slot in the top 4. That match will be played tomorrow, and we don't yet know who they will be up against, as Invictus Gaming will face LGD tomorrow to determine their opponent. I gotta say, Mind Control played so insane. There was the huge fight that happened at Roshan, and he was just carefully hidden by the upper barracks. Oh gosh, just great, great play. And
they play super well, but we're gonna give it to VP. I think that they had a very good read of the game. They see that they have the Void ulti and the Magnus ulti to deal with the AM, so they actually don't try to do anything to deal with him early on. And like I think most of the games when you play against AM, you want to shut him down early on. But because of these 2 ultimates, they choose not to. So they choose to go for the other heroes to make sure that it's only AM who has farm, and then use these ultimates to deal with him later. But it just comes down to him getting lucky. Taking Roche and getting the Aegis and winning the fight from there.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was a very strong performance on the anti-mage by Miracle. He's one of those players that I feel like you can kind of just give him that hero. This was not the best anti-mage game. It was okay. There were quite a few disables to kind of shut him down, but he's so good at finding farm with that hero, and I think like you almost never see him get caught. There was like they had this side ward, you know. That's how they catch him, and otherwise you just don't. And he farms so fast, and at some point they're using so many of these spells on him, and they don't have enough for the rest. You see what happens when this Veno jumps in with his ult, and there's an anti-mage there as well, and then they're not even fighting with their Prophet because he's somewhere else. He's taking a Rax. It's like VP, they didn't have enough resources to deal with all the heroes of Liquid.
yeah, the multiple threats coming out of Team Liquid eventually overcame Virtus.Pro. Purge, talk to us.
Yeah, that's basically the summary that I was going to look at as well. The split pushing that that Liquid actually did, what made it very difficult for VP to actually close the game out, get a lot of map control, things like that. Even little moves like this. This is 17 minutes in the game. The game's basically, even in Mind Control, still doing kind of suicidal tree spawning TPs just to try to affect the lane a little bit. And by doing this, spawning trees, cutting the range creep, it's actually forcing some of VP's players to rotate over to deal with these stupid treants. And it's just a big pain in the butt for them. This continued to happen. I mean, VP actually dealt with this pretty well. They did a lot of high cliff wards, which allow you to spot heroes that are hiding in trees. But like Ake said, I believe, they were always committing a lot of ultimates. That's a Chronosphere here. Miracle jumps over this way. It takes them a Quap ulti to more or less secure the kill. And just to be sure, Pasha went for a reverse polarity as well. And they do get him, but they're still losing at this point. And they're 29 minutes in. If they can't actually deal with this kind of split push, it's really costing them a lot. They also went for A on the top lane. He placed Observer Wards to try to spot out where Miracle ended up being, which ended up being helpful later when they caught him near the Ancients. They still got these kills, but it just wasn't enough. And ultimately it just turned into a lot of riding. Nature's Prophet hitting barracks at the end of team fights, and Liquid slowly pulling the win out.
Yeah, even buying back and abruptly going straight to the bottom lane to continue with that push. With Team Liquid securing that victory in the top 4, it's time to head on over to Casey, who's got Matumba Man with us right now.
Congratulations. One of the first things you said to me when you sat down was, oh my gosh, I have never played a game that long in my life, referring to the first game. We could only hear, obviously, what was happening outside. You guys gave Toby a heart attack, practically. We were losing our minds. So describe what it was like for you in the pod.
It was actually insane. I actually haven't experienced nothing like this before. We had like 100 minutes games. I've never played for that long. I'm losing my voice. We yelled so much in the booth. We were so excited. I'm like, yeah, we got him, we did it. It was just, it just felt great. I have like this very like tight bond with my teammates, and it's very nice.
You're like family, and you could see that when you came out of the pod after that first game. You were obviously really proud of each other and the way that you all played. How are you able? When we were all watching, we saw you coming back in what seemed like a minute later. You didn't have. It's not like you had a break where you could sit down and kind of take a load off. So how did you? The second game was obviously tough for you. So how did that work coming back in after such a long game? And what did you realize you needed to do differently in the third game?
Oh, after second game?
Yeah, because coming back into the second, it was exhausting, and I'm wondering if that is a factor into why things didn't go so well.
I mean, it's like we were pretty quiet because like we were so tired. It's 100 minutes, and you have to focus so hard. And in the second game, I think we had the game. We just we didn't execute our strategy. I think we choked. Like, we had this insane teamfight lineup, and we lost against this, like, come on, like, they picked trash against our teamfight lineup. We shouldn't have lost this game. But they played really well and beat us, and then we told ourselves, we just fucked up. Let's just do it now.
Mm-hmm. Get back to what we know.
Yeah, we're better than this. Let's do it. I mean, it's like, we're better than this, you know? It's just, we just wanted to hype ourselves up for the third game. And it kind of worked out. I was feeding with Venom Master, but my team is great.
It's got to be hard to straddle that balance between, you know, allowing yourselves to be energized and hyped, but also calm enough to be focused in the way that you have to be for these games.
I mean, I'm usually very mellow, but the Arabs, and like, they're very loud, even in the practice rooms everywhere. That's something for me to get used to. They're just yelling all the time for no reason.
Well, now you are too. You almost lost your voice.
Yeah, exactly. They're changing me. Oh.
Oh, my heart. Touching your
heart.
pearls. Next up, you're going to be facing either IG or LGD. I'm assuming you've been watching their style of play on main stage. You've seen them play, and you've played against them before TI. But I mean, specific to how they've been playing this year at TI main stage, what are some things that you think you need to keep in mind as you face either one of these teams? What are your strengths going up against them?
Of course, we look at like the other teams as well, but we just want to focus on ourselves, that we actually execute the strategies we worked on, and like we don't want to like play their game. We don't want to play our game. We want them to adapt to us rather than we adapting to them. That's our philosophy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What can we get you? I feel like we need to get you more water. Would you like a cold compress? Would you like some beer? Like, what can we get you so you can just kind of revel in this moment, relax a little bit?
I think just water. You know,
just water.
I'm a boring man.
Congratulations, and we'll obviously be talking to you in some way in the next couple of days, so we'll be watching.
Nice, love. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Matumba Man. Congratulations, Team Liquid. You know, early in this tournament, when teams would win, you'd see that sort of mellow, focused, like, yes, we won this game, but we want to really make sure that we stay focused, get back to things. And just to see that emotion out of Matumba Man was just so refreshing and so exciting.
They're just getting closer and closer to get to this final, to finally get this Aegis. So you can really see that they like want to win like more and more and more, even though they, of course, want to win the first game as well.
Yeah, I like how confident they were going in against VP. It's like, these heroes are trash. They picked trash for our lineup. They beat us. How's that even possible?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of reminds me of what we saw, you know, out of Team Liquid versus Team Secret, where they were down, they came back, and then they suffered kind of a rough loss, and then were able to still come back. You really see that there's a strong resolve and ability to collect themselves when they're in very tense, tiring, exhausting situations, because not only do they have to play that 103-minute game, but this is the second series that they've played today, and almost never at the main event does any team have to play 2 series in a row.
Yeah, they must have a very strong mental game. I don't know who to, you know, accredit it for. They have their coach Heen. I'm sure he's of big help to them. But I mean, there's also Kuro probably helping them, you know, giving them some pep talks, and they seem to really like playing with each other. And I also think that's something that helps in these kind of situations where, you know, you need that little bit of extra, and then, you know, you play with someone that you feel very comfortable with. It boosts you, you know, because it makes you want to win. You not only want to win for yourself, but you want to win because, you know, you want this other guy to also win. You want to share this with the people you're playing with, and I think that's something that's cool.
Yeah, that bond was so apparent. We even got the chance to see some of that in the booths, them just losing their minds right afterwards. Just at the moment of victory, they're so focused throughout the whole game. And there's the GG, the high fives, the embrace. I mean, I can't even imagine the relief after barely edging out the win in the 103-minute game 1 and getting stomped in game 2.
Ake has probably experienced something similar.
Grand finals in
Grand finals.
Tier 3? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You just get very exhausted, and especially then it was a best of 5, so we already was playing like 4 games before. But you just can see that, as he said himself, they were playing this 100-minute game and they were super tired, but they just have to keep on going. And it kind of, I think maybe VP was tired, and that's why they made mistakes as well. So it's really makes a difference to be able to endure the games and play on top the whole time.
It's also exciting to think about who they will be facing. Tomorrow's matches include Invictus Gaming versus LGD, the winner of which will then immediately face Team Liquid. Who can forget the winner's bracket final, LFY versus Newbie. I want to jump straight to the Invictus Gaming versus LGD matchup. Who do you think is likely to emerge from that series?
Wow, that is tough. That's really tough, I feel. Those teams, I think...
Very unfair
really
question.
Even. Yeah. I think they can be really even. They LGD looked... I feel like they looked pretty strong against OG. Like maybe it's that guy, I feel he kind of can take the edge in that game, in that series, I think. And maybe you know...
Who?
Maybe?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe can do it. I think I might give a slight edge to LGD in that one.
And I really am interested about your response to Matumba Man's comment. We don't want to adapt to other people. We want other people to adapt to us. I mean, China has really been the team dominating. Or excuse me, China has been the region dominating among all their teams.
We just saw this in the last series where OG played LGD and they had a first pick Magnus both times where they were using Magnus sometimes, but then they saw LGD in the upper bracket use it and they're like, oh man, we have to deal with this, and they first phase it and they ended up losing. So you can see some truth to the strategies that he praises.
Yeah, the idea of, we're not going to try to adapt to the fact that you choose Magnus because OG already tried that.
Yeah.
Look how it went. We're going straight Broodmother, first pick.
And then Bulba's like, okay, maybe you should just ban it out or just let them have it and have a way to deal with it.
I always think it's good for any team in kind of any situation to be, you want to be the person who forces someone else to get out of their comfort zone. When people adapt to you, it's so much better for yourself because you have a lot of options. Is that Shark Slacks in the background?
You know,
he's kind of throwing.
I saw Slacks the first time through. You're making a good point. Didn't want to interrupt. I think we didn't give it enough proper attention. Now he's coming back with the shark. He's gone. No, there he is. Oh. Is that a shark balloon?
That looks like a shark balloon.
Oh, that's great.
Well,
nice.
Come back, Slacks.
Yeah, we'll miss you, Slacks. Well, he was eaten alive by a shark right behind us, dressed in pepperonis.
Yeah, I actually think that IG might already know like what they want to do against the Magnus. They probably have been playing them before a lot when they practiced before coming here to TI, and obviously it was something that they have been practicing before because they used the Magnus in a lot of the games in the group stage. So it might just be that other teams have been trying to use things to counter it that didn't like work out, as OG tried to steal it and stuff like that. But IG might have something up their sleeve to counter it with.
Well, I'm curious about your comment that it's always better if people are adapting to you than vice versa, because if it's your strategy, the presumption is that you've spent a whole lot of time and a whole lot of experience playing it under different circumstances. So if someone tries to do something new, you've probably been up against it before if you're the one dictating the pace. But of course, we also see a lot of teams have really powerful drafts if they're specifically countering certain heroes, such as GH. If he doesn't have Wisp or Coddle right out the gate, this eliminates a lot of Team Liquid's strong strategies. So, I mean, how do you weigh those against each other if you're playing against an LGD?
Oh, that's tough. Well, I mean, in the case of Liquid, at least they have replacements. But I think all teams have certain heroes that they play better than other heroes. Like, you practice a certain set of heroes, and you're usually you have more experience with those heroes. So obviously, you're going to be better at them. And then you know that they're going to get banned, and then you always have some sort of replacements. That's what teams always aim to do. So, you get those backups. You want to have just enough heroes so that you will always get something in your comfort zone. So I'm pretty sure that LGD are aware of, they might ban this Magnus, and then, okay, what do we get in return? It's all just, what do you get if they do this, and then you have a lot of replacements for different things.
Yeah, I like that comment. You still want to be in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You don't want to just step to something that you've literally never practiced before because you theory craft it to be best.
And this is also why there are some teams that actually do like very well in the group stage, but then they struggle in the main event afterwards because they've been using these heroes that they can play the best. But for some players, it's like huge gap between the players that they play good and the players that they can play almost as good. And that's why when they get banned, they struggle in the main event. So that might be why a lot of teams that actually loses in the upper bracket as well lose straight away in the lower bracket, because everyone really knows how to ban against them and how to play.
That's an interesting point.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I'm actually curious. If I look at round 3, here comes Slacks. Oh!
Is that the new hero?
Wait, is
the Shark Man? Slacks? Is it?
Don't tease
No?
us like that, Slacks.
You know, I really feel like every year Slacks should get to design a Dota hero, and it should be put in and never balanced ever again.
He was talking about his Aghanims upgrades to heroes, and he had like 20, 30 different suggestions, and all of them were so stupid that I never want to hear them again.
But I want to hear them right now. Let's
I can't
let's hear
even
them.
remember. You just take Slacks here and talk, and you can talk for hours about it.
I remember one actually. There was one with Lycan, I think. The one Lycan axe, and it was if you could bite your allies. Oh, yeah. You could bite your allies, and they would turn into Lycans that you then could control. So they
was
couldn't
called
play
like
their
the
heroes
pack
anymore.
or something. So you
Yeah,
get you
the Lycan,
collect
the wolf
wolves.
pack. Man, I think they're great. Yeah.
And there was
That should definitely be in the game.
an axe to techies that you can throw something across the whole map, and the longer you channel it, the longer it turns. So it's like a huge skill shot that just kills everyone. So it's gonna stand there in the base and you're throwing things. That's another good suggestion.
We need a Slacks custom map with his own balanced designs.
Oh, that's
Great balance.
brilliant. Well, at this point, once again, if you're joining us just now, we have one team that has hit top 4 from lowers. That is Team Liquid. And tomorrow will be Newbie versus LFY in the winners. They're both guaranteed top 3, and we'll decide one team that will be advancing to the grand finals. But tomorrow we'll start off with Invictus Gaming versus LGD in lowers. Now, with that said, we are done with official TI7 main event matches for the day. But, as many of you know, as is traditional on Thursdays, we will be having an all-star match coming up, which is going to have no surprises, no nonsense. We're not going to have people messing around. It's going to be 10 of the most skilled players in all of the Dotes playing against one another this year for a $100,000 prize pool, just to help give them the proper motivations. So, also with this year, we have the chance to have microphones in the booths so we can hear everything that the players will be saying whenever the producers deem it's appropriate, because you never know what players will say that's appropriate when they're in the middle of a game.
Do they know that?
I think
That's
they
a
know
great
that.
question.
I think they do. But I hope not.
I hope not. Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, that's when you get the freshest, juiciest stuff. And it is really interesting to see how team communications, develop. I'm actually curious, Ake, in your experience, when you were playing in TI, how did your team communicate when they were in matches?
In the show matches or our normal matches?
Your normal matches.
My normal matches. Well, like any other team, I guess we call out things that are happening and tell what we need from our allies and what we can do.
But I've never been a Dota2Pro before, so I don't know. I mean, is there like a lot of conversation? Is there a lot of back and forth, or is it like mostly quiet?
It's sort of different from teams to teams, but I think we're gonna go into the game now, right?
That's right. We'll never even know. Guys, let's get into the TI7 All-Star match.